back to London Live News now. Following a sold-out run earlier this year, the stage show #Lighty returns to Dalston's Arcola Theatre this evening. The comedy explores mixed-race identity in modern Britain through the eyes of four siblings. Daniel Bailey has produced the show. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
It starts with a young girl called Ella, and she is, as lots of teenagers will relate to, a social media star.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah,
explain where her story goes and how it links to the other people involved.
I think you touched on it really well. Like, social media is a really big thing in the sort of millennial generation. They're constantly on their phones, they're constantly scrolling through their feed and kind of keeping up to date with what's going on. In Ella's scenario, she's just a young 16-year-old girl, and she's kind of trying to find her way in the world, as most young people are. And I think it just starts with her very innocently just talking about herself online, sharing videos, and then it kind of transpires into her getting into makeup, getting into beauty, because obviously as a young teenage girl, that a lot of them are really kind of conscious about how they look and always trying to like reach that sort of ideology of beauty and perfection and stuff. So she kind of goes on that journey, and it's kind of just about how social media opens you up to a whole audience that you can't necessarily control and you can't necessarily hide from as well at the same time.
Without giving too much away, what she essentially does leads to the rest of her family experiencing some kind of abuse.
Of course, yeah. I mean, she's, like you said, she's got 3 older siblings, all of sort of different generations. And what the writer Lynette Linton has very cleverly done is she's managed to kind of tap into the different experiences of people of mixed race from past generations. So we've got the eldest, Melissa, who's in her sort of early 40s. So her experience of growing up mixed race in Britain was different to, if you like, on the other end, Ella, who's 16 and growing up and is relatively popular and liked, and she doesn't have the same sort of things to think about and worry about when she kind of steps out into the street.
Yeah, the historical context is covered up nicely to some extent with comedy. And is that essentially there to soften the blow to the audience? Because you are dealing with a meaty issue.
Yeah.
Have you made it light-hearted to try and...
Completely. I didn't write it, so I can't take credit for it. But again, Lynette, she's her work is... She's got a very unique skill in managing to find that sort of comic element and how she can get a story across and kind of, like you say, keep it light-hearted, but still touch on really heavy subjects and really heavy issues that do need to be talked about. And kind of we often shy away from talking about. So she's got a real skill in getting these kind of topics on the table in a light-hearted and digestible sort of manner.
Yeah, before it was returned to Dalston, it went off on a tour of schools.
Yeah.
How was it received there with young people? Because they are the Ella generation.
Yeah.
Do they have issues with mixed race identity?
This play has been on a very, very long journey. We did a research and development week initially at the Gate Theatre, where we invited a focus group of mixed race people to come in and talk about their experiences of being mixed race, of all different ages, and living in London, a lot living outside of London. And interestingly, their experiences vary quite dramatically from those growing up in London as well. So there's so many variables to that sort of culture, to an extent. But in regards to the schools, I think the play definitely appeals to a wide age range, and that is kind of represented through the different ages of the characters. But schools specifically, because of the issues around social media, because of the comic elements to the show as well, it definitely really relates to a young school. We took it to Leighton Sixth Form and a few other schools in East London, and the feedback and response from them have been absolutely amazing. My cousin actually went to one of the schools and she was so excited when we came down, and she still messages me now saying, "Oh my gosh, my friends loved it. When are you coming back? When can we see it?" So even her and her friends are excited to come and see it again.
Well, there we go. There's plenty of time for people to see it themselves now as well. Daniel, lovely to see you. Daniel Bailey there, who's produced #Lighty. It is on at the Arcola in Dalston. It opens tonight. It stays there until the 2nd of December. Plenty of time for you to see it. Now, using just 4 key objects from around the world, including its first ever video artwork, the British Museum has opened a new exhibition exploring conflict. One of the artefacts dates back thousands